Pick up your copy of Scars Above, an intriguing and challenging sci-fi third-person action-adventure with a carefully crafted story that has you fighting for your life on a mesmerizing yet hostile alien world.
Get ready. Here they come!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 hardest third-person shooters.
Did he survive the crash, sir?
Yeah, he's okay, but I've had a little trouble getting back to my ship due to my sprained ankle.
Oh, come on.
For this list, we're looking at third-person shooter games that gave us a bit of a hard time, whether it was through controls, AI, and/or level design. Which game gave you the most trouble? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Control. When you think of Remedy Entertainment and their previous games like Alan Wake, you don't really expect them to belt out a game as challenging as Control. How is Control so tough? Well, for starters, you do spend quite a bit of time fighting enemies with only a measly pistol before you get your first power. But the biggest hurdles are the random difficulty spikes scattered across the game. Hordes of enemies will spawn in for what feels like ages, and bosses would either attack with untamed ferocity or bug out and forget to navigate the area properly. Control is by no means a terrible game. Just be prepared to run your head into a wall during certain portions of your campaign. Number 9. Metal Arms Glitch in the System. Metal Arms was an experience that felt tough but fair overall. However, for the parts that were anything but fair, well, we were tearing our hair out. The thing about Metal Arms is that it loves its big rooms and loading them up with enemies. We're not saying there should be less. No, the difficulty stems from which enemies it places in said rooms. The average millbot won't give you many problems, but mix in titans, zombie bots, guards, and maybe a couple of scientists? That's when you better have stocked up on grenades and ammo. Number 8. The Thing.
It looks, well, like a UFO. Colonel?
The Thing is an incredibly unique game. Yes, it plays like most of your other third-person shooters in terms of controls, but it isn't shooting you'll have to worry about. Part of the challenge lies in making sure you don't appear suspicious to your squad members.
This should help.
Taking too long to perform a certain action, or mindlessly shooting things can eventually lead to a squad member thinking you're the titular creature and end up gunning you down. Play it smart and consider your comrades if you want to make it out alive. Number 7. Ratchet & Clank.
I doubt it. He's a pro hoverboarder, always going off about how cool he is.
Looks like he's in trouble.
I'll say.
Funny thing about Ratchet is that just about every game in the franchise is, for the most part, pretty easy. At least everything from going commando onwards. So why are we picking on the original game? Well, it's mainly because of how different it plays compared to the more evolved sequels. You only have 4 hit points to spare, and there is no strafing to help you in aiming your shots. You pretty much have to spray and pray with most of your weapons. Thankfully, lobbed weapons like grenades do come with a reticle on the ground to show you where it'll land before you toss. But yeah, expect many awkward fights. Number 6. Kid Icarus Uprising. Now, we might be cheating with this one a bit, as Kid Icarus Uprising functions on a completely different level than the other games on this list. Prior to a mission, Uprising allows the player to set the difficulty they want and offers greater rewards the higher they go. Needless to say, the game gets insane when you start going over the 6 or 7 difficulty. At certain points, Uprising almost turns into a bullet hell game, and if you haven't gotten a grasp on the controls, you best be ready to die. A lot. Number 5. Jak II. Sure, some of us would like to see Jak and Daxter come back in some way, but after playing Jak II, we'd like to tack on an asterisk to that wish. See, when it wants you to play it as a platformer, Jak II plays just fine, but when it wants to be a shooter, that's where it stumbles. Like the first Jak and Daxter, aiming can be a real hassle as Jak will aim by his own accord. This can make combat frustrating at times. It doesn't help that despite giving you more health than the first game, enemies will still shave off 2 portions of your 8-count health bar. So, you're basically playing Jak 1 but with extra seasoning to make the combat grueling. Number 4. Resident Evil 5. Oh boy! Resident Evil 5 was certainly something else. To be fair, it isn't a hard game in the same way as some others. The shooting is fine, the enemies are tough but fair, and the puzzles aren't super complex. When playing co-op, it's a decent game. When playing solo though, that's where the migraines come in.
Help me out here. Much appreciated.
This is mostly because of how stupid the AI is. Shiva will frequently get in the way of your shots and mindlessly run into the enemy hordes. It can make the game so frustrating that you're better off tackling the whole thing with a friend.
There's only so much one person can do. Even a superhero like you, Chris.
Number 3. Risk of Rain 2. Risk of Rain 2 is an interesting case when it comes to the genre of roguelikes. Whereas most roguelikes still follow a linear structure with their difficulty and make things harder the further you get into your run, Risk of Rain 2 ties its difficulty to a timer. The longer you take to find the exit and finish the boss, the harder the game gets. There is no time to be wandering around aimlessly and farm for XP. You need to get in and get out as soon as possible. Of course, if you absolutely want to make it difficult for yourself, by all means, take your time. Number 2. Gears of War.
Oh yeah! We're moving your location.
The Gears of War games overall are some of the most challenging shooters you could play. But good lord are they incredibly satisfying to play. Of them all, you might struggle with the very first Gears as it really pushes you to be accurate with your shots. There are times where it feels like ammo is scarce and your AI companions fail to do any real damage to enemies. In a sense, the game pretty much forces you to become a one-man army, and it will either make or break you. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Returnal. This is no case of recency bias. Returnal is absolutely the hardest third-person shooter we have played, and one of the hardest shooters you can play right now. In every room, every combat encounter is just littered with bullets flying from all directions. Spatial awareness is the key to survival here, and one slip-up can bring an end to your run before you realize where you went wrong. And despite all the challenges, all the trials and tribulations it puts you through, Returnal will keep you coming back for one more run again and again. Pick up your copy of Scars Above. An intriguing and challenging sci-fi third-person action-adventure with a carefully crafted story that has you fighting for your life on a mesmerizing yet hostile alien world.